We got the latest on the Brandon Aiyuk situation. 49ers trying to pay him $26 million per year. He doesn't want that. I think he wants probably upwards of $30 million. And there is still no contract extension or long-term deal signed just yet. And he's still holding out. So things aren't looking good for him and the Niners right now. And I think the longer this stalemate goes on, the more likely it is that he gets traded. What does all this mean for the Steelers, though? What does this information mean for the Steelers? Aiyuk doesn't want $26 million, which, in my opinion, would be very fair. You look at that number compared to the rest of receiver contracts in the league, that would make him the 8th highest paid at the position. After Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, and Cooper Kupp. Outside of Jalen Waddle, Brandon Aiyuk is worse than all of those receivers. And that would put him just ahead of Devontae Smith and Nico Collins, who just got new deals this offseason. Like, that's the range. Like, that's a very fair number, actually. If Jalen Waddle didn't get his $28 million, which made him the 5th highest paid receiver, maybe Aiyuk ain't stressing as much. I guess maybe St. Brown's deal. Maybe Aiyuk's looking at St. Brown's deal and is like, yeah, I deserve at least that because St. Brown's getting 30 per. But St. Brown has a better case for 30 mil over Aiyuk just based off of the total production and the total career that each of them have had. St. Brown has been more consistent, whereas Aiyuk has been like a gradual climb up to his career year that he had last year, 1,300 yards, and I can't remember the touchdowns. I think it was like at least 7 or 8 touchdowns. It was a really good year for Aiyuk. But St. Brown has been way more consistent than what Aiyuk has been thus far. And, I mean, St. Brown had a better year than Aiyuk last year even. So, like, yeah, he deserves probably to get paid a couple more million than Aiyuk. It's just weird because I don't think any of us think of St. Brown being a top 3 receiver, right? We just don't. It's Jefferson, it's Jamar Chase, it's Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. Like, you're not even thinking St. Brown in the top 5. Maybe that 6, 7, 8 range, but he's getting top 3 money. So I get Aiyuk wants to get as much as he can, but let's be real, that 26 mil, that's very fair. So if he's not going to want the $26 million from the 49ers, is he going to want $26 million from whatever team ends up trading for him? Like, would the $26 million hit different on a new team? Because sometimes when it's the team that drafted you, or if it's like your first job out of college or something like that, sometimes there could be a little bit of a taking for granted going on from both sides, where maybe the organization feels like they made you more than you made yourself, but you're thinking like, yeah, listen, I get it. Like, this was some of the infrastructure. Like, some of that helped me, but at the same time, like, can you give me respect for who I am as an individual? Like, with that 26 mil hit different on a new team, where maybe just if he got traded, you know, a team's willing to give up an asset to get Brandon Aiyuk, he feels more appreciated. I don't know, because, like, if the Steelers were able to give up a draft pick, you know, second-round pick, I think first-rounder's too much. Second-round pick, and we offer the same exact amount, I ain't stressing. I think that's a pretty decent deal. I think that'd be a good deal for both sides. But if it's a second-round pick and Aiyuk wants more than St. Brown or, you know, $30 million, whatever it is, it's like, damn. Like, we're talking about paying you top 3, top 4. I don't know about that. 26 mil. That's fair. So should we do the whole, you know, trade a draft pick and try to get him at that number? That's the whole thing. Like, does he want that number for a new team? Would he be willing to take that number for a new team? Is it just that he's got this hold up with the 49ers? Like, that relationship's too close. Doesn't feel as appreciated over there with them, just like no matter what number it is. And so he's trying to break the bank with them. Like, would he be more generous with a new squad? I don't know. But yeah, draft pick and $26 million for Aiyuk, I think that'd be a good deal for the Steelers. What do you guys think, though? I saw this meme the other day from Steelers by Joey. I think it summed up this Brandon Aiyuk situation perfectly from a Pittsburgh standpoint. Like, on one side of it, I'm not going to argue if we make the move. We just added Brandon Aiyuk to this team. And we're supposed to be going all in with this Russell Wilson year where we're only paying him $1 million. And, you know, we got Justin Fields on the cheap, too, as a backup. Like, how can you argue against it? On the other side, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, man, maybe one of these dudes steps up. We don't need to break the bank for another receiver. We got Pickens in-house. You know, he's going to obviously be our franchise receiver, hopefully, you know, if all goes well this upcoming year and he continues to develop and takes a year 3 jump, then we're going to be looking to pay him this type of money. It's not too often you have teams outside of the Dolphins, really, that are paying 2 receivers buku bucks. Not the greatest strategy for winning in the league. Usually it's like you pay your quarterback, you got a franchise quarterback, you pay him, you pay one receiver, you pay like a left tackle, and you pay a couple guys on defense, like an edge rusher. Or in our case, we got Minkah Fitzpatrick. We also got Patrick Queen. But, like, yeah, you pay like 2 or 3 guys on defense the big money, whether it's edge, a cornerback, like a linebacker. Like, pick your spot. But then on offense, it's typically your quarterback, a receiver, and someone on the O-line, maybe 1 or 2 guys on the O-line, but particularly left tackle. You're not paying 2 receivers $25+ million like that. Again, Dolphins are doing it. Best of luck to them. I don't think it's the greatest strategy, but feels like they needed to do it because they have Tua at quarterback and they need all the help they can get for him. But yeah, I go back and forth with this. I would not argue against a Brandon Aiyuk trade. I'll put it to you that way. Even if it is for a second-round pick and we pay him a little bit more than $26 million, like, I'm not going to be hating on it that bad. I'm really not. Will I think, okay, yeah, this contract is a little bit much? Sure. But we're trying to get back to glory, man. We're trying to get back to those Super Bowls. And if we can afford to add Brandon Aiyuk to this team, let's just do it. At least for this year. I know it would be a multi-year deal and everything, but, like, we'll figure out the uncertainties and the questions later after this season. Let's just be the best we can for this year, man. Like, we got a once in a, I don't know, generational type of opportunity here with having Russell Wilson on $1 million contract. Why not load up the roster as best we can? But again, on the flip side of it, you could look at it and just say, yeah, Brandon Aiyuk for $30 million, whatever he's asking for, and a draft pick. One of these dudes are going to step up, man. We drafted Roman Wilson for a reason. Van Jefferson, he's won a Super Bowl. Quez Watkins, you know, can he learn to catch the ball better? There's reasons for optimism. But if you had to bet one way or another, like, are we going to be sitting in the middle of the season still looking for a potential wide receiver too? That might be more likely than the flip side of it where, you know, Van Jefferson becomes like a dominant wide receiver too and he's going to get 800-900 yards this year. That might be a little bit more likely, but I still think we can win. Like, you know how in some of the Crosby Malkin heyday, like the heyday of the Crosby Malkin era, where we'd be talking about, man, we need a winger. We need to get another winger here. We need to make a trade. We need, you know what I mean? We need to get another guy for Crosby's line or Malkin's line, whatever it is. We need a score. We need like at least a 20-goal score, a 30-goal score. We need some juice on offense. Those Penguins teams were still really good, right? Like, I still think we can be really good. We could be in Super Bowl contention, but there is going to be that talking point. There's going to be that missing piece that we may be bringing up, you know, mid-season around the trade deadline. Do we still need that wide receiver too? Who's available? How's things looking? Are the Broncos sucking this year? Maybe we can make the Cortland Sutton trade or something before the trade deadline. Is Aiyuk still holding out with the 49ers? Maybe we can make the move then. Who knows? But I think that, I will admit, I think that is more likely. Like, that direction of this wide receiver trade saga or this wide receiver 2 saga for the Steelers, that's probably more likely where we're sitting there week 5, week 6 and saying to ourselves, we could probably still use a wide receiver 2. We could probably still use a little extra juice on offense, as opposed to one of these dudes stepping up and becoming a dominant outside receiver. Maybe dominant is a stretch, but a secure outside receiver that we could count on late in the season and then going into the playoffs and stuff. Like, there's no doubt in my mind we're still going to be good, but is that going to be good enough? The standard is the standard. How have we been talking this offseason, man? Not only us as fans, but like Tomlin, Rooney, Omar Khan, they're like, yeah, we need to get back to Super Bowls. Russell Wilson comes in here. He's talking about winning Super Bowls. So just skating by ain't going to be good enough. And will we skate by with this current unit on offense, with these current receivers? We'll have to wait and find out. Wait and find out. I don't think we have to be in some crazy rush, though. Yeah, I think that's another way to look at it. We don't have to be in a crazy rush because one of these receivers can very well be available at the trade deadline, and we could probably get them at a way better deal, at a way better discount. Like a Cortland Sutton, if the Broncos are sucking and they're doing a fire sale at the trade deadline, Cortland Sutton, you with 1 year left on his deal, you mean to tell me we probably couldn't get him for like a 6th or 7th round pick? We probably could get him for that right now, honestly. But it's not like he's going anywhere. But yeah, I think that's it for today's show. Let me know your thoughts on this Aiyuk trade saga, this wide receiver 2 trade stuff. Does this new information change your opinion at all? What do you think it would take to get Aiyuk? What would you give up to get Aiyuk? What do you think will be fair? Are you good with the current receivers? This seems to be the constant conversation we've been having for the last month. But hey, what else you want to talk about? So I hope you enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.